You know, it's been a while since I've uploaded anything properly to YouTube. Yet today, I've decided to do it on my new channel. Ladies and gentlemen, let's start with a story, shall we? Once upon a time, there was a railway locomotive called Smudger. Smudger was a show-off. He rode roughly, he often came off the rails, he was warned to be careful, but he never took any heed of the warnings he was given. He used to say, "Listen, who cares about a few spills?" He was warned that his manager there does, but Smudger took no notice. He would just laugh and laugh and laugh, and continue the same way he was, coming off the rails, spilling things, costing the railway money. His manager regarded him as being quite useless, until one day, his manager came to see him, and he said to Smudger, "I'm going to make you useful at last." Smudger stopped laughing, because his manager ripped his wheels off.
Jesus Christ, my fucking wheels!
Ripped his back off.
Jesus Christ, my fucking back!
And turned him into a stationary generator.
Jesus Christ, I'm a fucking stationary generator!
Some people say that Smudger's still there, sitting outside the back of the shed. He'll never move again. I am Stu Dog, and this is my channel now. Maybe you haven't got the memo yet because I haven't sent it. For you see, ladies and gentlemen, power can transfer quite quickly on YouTube, especially when your password is 1234A. You see, I, the all-powerful almighty Stu Dog, have determined that Professor Curious is 3 weeks past retirement. I'm certain I can develop this channel better than he could. What's he gonna do? Overload you with funk remixes of Steamboat Willie? Yet another remix of Dexter Remick being shot in the head? I'm here with the YouTube movie review, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go back to the story I just told you. This one is about the Smudger Movie, a movie set in the Thomas the Tank Engine universe about the aforementioned locomotive Smudger, who was converted into a generator. The movie was uploaded by LL Company and premiered on August the 14th, 2021. It's highly worth a watch, but I must warn you, it contains adult themes. It's a psychological horror thriller with strong language and themes of gambling. You know, the sort of degenerate kind of stuff I love. Our movie starts with Smudger essentially having issues because the distance between his wheels are not correct for the track that he's on.
I told the manager that my gauge size isn't correctly adjusted yet, so it's not my fault for slipping off the rails.
This leads him to derail quite often, and for his manager to determine that he's becoming more and more useless as time goes on. Smudger's hoping to get sold to another railway, perhaps one where the rails are the correct distance apart for his wheel gauge to fit them. Smudger himself, having been built in the USA, moved through France and then on to the island of Sodor. However, rather than selling or scrapping Smudger, his manager decides to turn him into a stationary generator.
And we are finished here. Our new generator.
Wow, what a dick. The movie then follows Smudger's descent into a form of dark madness and depression, having no wheels, once having freedom to roam, no longer having such a freedom, and essentially just being stuck, staring at the hillsides. As a parallel, it also follows the manager's descent into gambling addiction. He's always winning, until he's not winning anymore. The movie is pretty dark, and it's not for the faint of hearted, ladies and gentlemen, and even the subject matter on which it's based. An episode of Thomas the Tank Engine made for kids. Even the story in the original episode about Smudger being ripped apart and turned into a generator, that's pretty fucking dark as well, I'm not gonna lie.
He turned him into a generator. He's still there behind our shed. He'll never move again.
You know, it's a story for kids, and it's the sort of thing that conveys like a moral. Yeah, kids, don't be lazy or we'll rip your legs off and set you on fire. Is that a moral for a story to give to children? I think that's perhaps a bit of a harsh one. LL Company has managed to capture a brilliant sort of the psychological effects that are happening to poor old Smudger as he sits there as a generator, decaying, rusting away. Watching the world go on around him, but having very little interaction with it. One of his only friends being another locomotive called Duke, the old locomotive that's there, that he's known for a long time. Duke being the only person who actually tries to help him. The only locomotive that really tries to help him.
That's why I'm trying to convince the manager that we need another engine to help us. Hopefully you. You can thank me later when you're fully repaired and back on the rails again.
Duke does attempt to reason with the manager of the line to get Smudger's wheels back, get him rebuilt, get him back on track. As with a lot of fan fiction that goes onto YouTube, ladies and gentlemen, I find that the main value is in story. I appreciate the fact that LL Company put a lot of time and a lot of effort into making this movie. And from a technical aspect, the amount of time that LL Company has put into this project, as well as the amount of work and effort, he made this on an iPad. Now, I'm not a very technical person. I couldn't even scratch the surface of even thinking about making a project like this. So definitely this guy deserves a round of applause for the work that he has done. LL Company has also done a director's commentary on his movie as well, and it's very much worth a watch and a listen to because it's quite fascinating about his sort of thought processes that were going into making the movie, especially at the ending, and the way that he wants the viewer to interpret it in their own unique way. And in reading through comment sections on the Smudger movie and the director's commentary, it looks like a lot of members of the community can empathise with Smudger, some of them even saying that they were in similar positions as people themselves, where they would have issues and they would be locked away on their own for a while because of issues that they were having. And I think that's something that's quite the takeaway, is that this movie is resonating with people that are watching it, despite being such a simple thing. It's based on Thomas the Tank Engine, but I think a movie with themes of mental health, isolation, loneliness, this could be made seriously in any kind of environment, be it from the real world through even the Star Trek fandom, something that I'm part of myself. I don't think the setting itself is particularly important, but I think that the message of the story itself is the most important thing here. It could be set anywhere, anytime, essentially. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I will link all the necessary information down below in the description section and the comments, and I would ask you to go and give this a watch if you have an hour and a half of your time. It's a feature-length movie, so go and give it a watch, because it's definitely worth it. It's powerful and it's hard-hitting. I implore you, ladies and gentlemen, give this a watch and absorb the story, because the story's just wow. That's me speaking as someone who, I quite like YouTube horror sort of stuff. Analog horror, you know, like Gemini Home Entertainment. Or Local 58. Anyway, that should about do it for my first new video on my new channel.
Ah, Honkai Star Rail. If there's a better use of my time, I don't want to know about it. How many times have we got to do this, Stu? Stay out!
Oh.
How many of these do I have to put in you before you start taking the hint?